Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR.
107.7 RKR. It's the Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good start to your week. Meatball is out for the day, and we had a busy weekend. Man, so much happened this weekend. So let's see. Let's start off with Friday. First off, we had the NSRA Street Rods Nationals North Show. That was a blast. Meatball had a bunch of fun. He actually got out of there just as the rain was coming in. He was able to pack up and take off. So he stayed dry there. And then, of course, Saturday was super busy. Went to Canadiana Fest. That was actually a lot of fun because I got to play some street hockey with a couple of guys from the Western hockey team. So that was pretty fun. And at Canadiana Fest, it was just such a big showing. I mean, I think there was over like nearly 2,000 people that came out there. So, yeah, that was a blast, getting some poutine in us. And then, of course, Meatball was out at Presidential that night as well for the Trixie Tang show. So that was kind of makeup because they got rained out as well. Sports, so much happened, too. Like the Lions, they did not look good in the second half yesterday. But I will say, the defense looked great, but at least they got the W. Tigers, on the other hand, they are the hottest team in the MLB right now. Like, they're currently in a playoff spot. Unfortunately, for the wild card, I think it stays in one location. I think it's like a best of 3 series, and it stays in like whoever's in the top wild card spot. They would have to win that if they wanted to get some home games. But telling you what, man, if the Tigers make a push, I'm definitely going to one of those games. It's going to be freaking sweet. I don't know. This Tigers team is like literally come out of nowhere because earlier in the year, we were like, yeah, this is going to be a rough one. And now all of a sudden we're like, hey, what are they doing right now? They're going crazy. So yeah, Tigers are looking really good, man. I'm excited for this upcoming postseason because we have a chance to actually have a pretty good team. And hey, if you're hot, anybody's got a chance once you get into the 107.7 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse. Meatball is out for the day. So this is kind of a controversial topic in my home city of Rochester Hills. Like I mentioned before, I grew up on the east side of the state. There's a Michigan business that may be taking over another Michigan business. Now, normally you're like, well, at least it's staying local, but a lot of the locals over there aren't happy. So where I grew up, there was a Meijer literally right around the corner from my subdivision. There's Meijer like all over the east side. So there's a Meijer over there. There's also a city on the east side called Lake Orion, which isn't too far from Rochester Hills. And in downtown Rochester, they have a market. It's called Hollywood Market. I don't know if they had them over here. If they did, hit me up at 978-1077. I don't know if Hollywood ever made its way over here, but Hollywood was like a staple over near Rochester Hills. There was like 3 or 4 locations when I was growing up. Now, the only one that I know of offhand is this one in downtown Rochester. And I guess the owner is not renewing the lease. So he basically said, yeah, I'm not renewing your lease, and Meijer's going to be moving in and taking its place. And people in the city are not happy because the Meijer, there's 2 Meijer within a 4-mile radius. So people are like, we do not need this here. And Hollywood Market, obviously a much different, another different kind of grocery mart. Again, you have your favorites, like if you go to this one place, you're going to go there all the time. Like I live in Vine neighborhood, Midtown Fresh is right there. And it's way more convenient for me to just go there every day than drive, 4 or 5 miles out of my way. So these people, they're making the argument, like if we don't need another Meijer. There's like one that's 4 miles away and there's another one that's 3 miles away. So they're trying to do what they can to get this overturned, but there isn't a whole lot they can do. I mean, this is up here on the 107.7 RKR app. I mean, it's capitalism. Like the guy owns the mart. He doesn't want to renew the lease. He wants Meijer to move in. They just have to get it, I think, approved tomorrow because they need to put a drive-through for the pharmacy, and that has to get approved by the city, but they're pretty sure that it's going to happen. But hit me up, 978-1077. I don't know if there was ever a Hollywood Market over here. If there is, definitely share your memories with me. 1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse. Meatball is out for the day. So Thursday, September 19th was a special holiday for a special fruit in southern Michigan. In fact, it was so special they named it twice and a town after it. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about pawpaw, the pawpaw fruit. So September 19th was National Pawpaw Day. And this is obviously a fruit that's celebrated in Southwest Michigan. And of course, you know, we spend a lot of time at Pawpaw. We enjoy the hell out of it. Pawpaw is actually really interesting. If you've never had it, we take a look at this on the 1077 RKR app. It's a kind of a custard-like meat, similar like, you know, how jackfruit is somewhat like meat-like, the fruit. It kind of tastes like a banana, a mango, and a pineapple all combined. Those are all three of my favorite fruits. So I really got to take advantage and get myself a pawpaw and try one of these things. Super good. But Meatball found something out while looking this up. It actually has a neurotoxin that could throw your entire body off in this like in the fruit. Has a neurotoxin. A lot of people eat it raw. But inside the fruit, there's a powerful neurotoxin. Annonasin, I believe is how you pronounce it, ananosin or annonasin. It's a potent neurotoxin that has the potential to mess with your nervous system. In some cases, people have reported to feeling like a tingling feeling or loose feeling altogether if a lot of it is ingested, and this stuff is like all over the fruit. I'm curious if this ever happened to you. 978-1077. Have you ever eaten so much pawpaw that your body started like be thrown out of whack? And maybe if you never knew, you know, that this had a neurotoxin in it, maybe that's why. So hit me up at 978-1077 if you've ever eaten so much pawpaw that your body started going nuts. I guess this is probably why during the big, you know, festivals in pawpaw that we don't see pawpaw eating contests, because, yeah, everybody would be twitching at the end. 1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse. Meatball is out for the day. There is some good news and some bad news. We have got a couple of staple locations in Southwest Michigan. One is opening a new location. Unfortunately, this one is closing, and it's one of Michigan's oldest bakeries and coffee shops, which is really unfortunate. It's in South Haven. They're called Golden Brown Bakery. If you know what I'm talking about, the Brashlers, they've owned this for a long time. This bakery opened up in 1938 when Nona McKenzie and Blanche Rosenberger opened this bad boy up. And it was called Mackenzie's Bakery. And this has been open for 86 years. And it's basically stayed within just two families. Now that's coming to an end, as unfortunately they've announced on their Facebook that they're going to be closing at the end of the year. They said after 86 years of serving Southwest Michigan and the city of South Haven, the owners of the Golden Brown Bakery have decided the bakery and coffee shop is going to close its doors for the final time at the end of 2024. And really the owner talking about his time at the bakery said, our bakery has been more than just a business. It's been my home, a community gathering place, and a source of pride. We're grateful for the incredible support and loyalty from our customers over the decades. While it's bittersweet to come to this realization and say goodbye, we feel blessed to have been a part of this town's story. Tell you what, they have been a part of this town's story. 86 years. That is a phenomenal feat. The good thing is there's still time to support them. They're not going to be closing down until the end of the year. So if you want to get some holiday orders in and support these guys as they're getting towards the end of their tenure here in Southwest Michigan, there's plenty of time to do it. Again, if you've never been there before, this is the Golden Brown Bakery, South Haven. Definitely want to support this business before they go out with a bang. But don't worry, later this hour, I'm going to tell you about another business that is opening up right here in Kalamazoo. Very much looking forward to it. So good luck to the owners of Golden Brown Bakery. 1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse. Meatball is out for the day. Earlier in the hour, I told you about the Golden Brown Bakery, one of Michigan's oldest bakeries, 86 years, closing at the end of the year. They're in South Haven. You can still support them through the end of the year. You can visit the story on the 1077 RKR app. But also up here is another local business that has been killing it in Kalamazoo. In fact, it took me months to get into this place because it was always freaking packed. I'm talking about Barry's Famous Pancake House. This kind of filled a void when Theo and Stacy's left. It was just truly heartbreaking because Theo and Stacy's, they were great. They took care of their employees. They would give them like paid vacations. And so, you really wondered like, where's the new breakfast spot at? Well, Barry's came in and this place just blew up. It was so busy. It was crazy busy. And recently they had their second location because the first one they opened up in the old Theo and Stacy's on South Westnedge. They had one in downtown. That one closed up and they closed, permanently. So you're thinking, okay, where's this new second location going to be? And it's actually going to be on Gall Road. It's like right down the street from the station. It's going to be where the old North 11 was on Gall Road, right past Sprinkle, east of Sprinkle rather. And so, yeah, this is pretty huge, man. You can open the 1077 RKR app and check this out. There's already signage up. They've already got like the signage, Barry's famous pancake house. It's up there. I imagine that they're probably looking for staff. And yeah, this is pretty wild, man. North 11 Bistro, which, they moved to Richland. They're now part of the Tavern 32. And, North 11, that was just kind of a historic place in this complex over here. But tell you what, between the new Popeyes location and the Planet Fitness that's coming to Gall Road soon, with the addition of Barry's, that might actually work out in your favor. Pancakes and then the gym. That's probably a smart idea, not the other way. 1077 RKR. It's the Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse. Meatball is out for the day. There is a topic that comes up usually around this time of the year, and I think it's definitely worth bringing up again because I want to see how you guys feel about this. I've always thought that, trick-or-treating should be done on a weekend. Halloween, obviously, people have said over the years, we need to, move Halloween. Well, you can't really move Halloween because it's observed by many different cultures going back to like the Celts and the Gaelics. They on October 31st, there was a definite celebration happening on that day. And it was a transition into autumn, into the harvest, so celebrating Halloween, you kind of have to do that on Halloween. But the topic of trick-or-treating has come up, and I feel like a lot of people feel like it should be moved. If you open up the 1077 RKR app, we're having this conversation because Halloween falls on a Thursday this year. And I remember as a kid going trick-or-treating, like if it was during a work week or like a school week and it landed in the middle somewhere, that sucked. Because I know your parents would kind of allow you to get away, but they'd still clamp on you. If it was a school night, like you had to be home early. If it was on a weekend, you could just celebrate and do whatever the heck you want. They didn't really care. That was kind of like our personal, like pre-Christmas, just run around, get candy, get geeked out on it, have fun with friends. That was the entire point of it. But a lot of people feel like maybe trick-or-treating should get moved to the weekend. I'm curious about what your thoughts are. 978-1077. Obviously, we can't necessarily move Halloween, but do you think that we should dedicate a new holiday to trick-or-treating and hold it on the last weekend of October before it turns in November? It's kind of like Thanksgiving. You celebrate it at a different date every year. It's always the last Thursday of the month. Should we kind of do the same thing with trick-or-treating? 978-1077. Let me know what you think on that. 1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse. Meatball is out for the day. So an impromptu shopping trip turned into a chaotic scramble to find a child recently. Now, we don't like to talk about Ohio a ton, but this story is mind-boggling. So early Sunday, it was this, not yesterday, but prior Sunday, in Bedford, Ohio, a family frantically called the police to report their 8-year-old daughter and a 2020 Nissan Rogue were missing. So they thought like there was kidnapping that took place. When the police arrived on the scene, neighbors, offered up like Ring doorbell footage, and they showed that there was a small child that they had seen on the doorbell footage getting into the Nissan Rogue alone and driving off. An 8-year-old. Police were on the search for the missing rogue on nearby streets, and they couldn't locate her. Then when they looked at the flock camera footage, flock cameras are the high-definition license plate recognition cameras that the police use. One of the cameras located the car near a Target location, which eventually led to law enforcement finding the young driver inside the Target. If you want to read more on this, it's on the 1077 RKR app. This is hilarious. She drove to the Target. Not sure what she bought. If she was even able to use the Target app to save 5%. I don't know. But she did order a Frappuccino from the Starbucks. An 8-year-old went to Target, took the card, and paid for a Frappuccino at Starbucks. I'm just curious, like, who serves an 8-year-old a Frappuccino? Like, where's your mom? Like, I don't know. I'd be worried about the mom getting pissed at me. Like, what are you doing giving coffee to my 8-year-old? I'm like, sorry, she ordered. She's a member.